everyone, so I know that I haven't made a video in a little while. I'm going to be posting another video either just before or just after this one, kind of explaining what's been going on in my life for the last month. It's been super hectic and crazy, but a lot of fun at the same time, so I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. But on to today's video. So if you know me, you'll know that I am obsessed with weddings, and I'm actually lucky enough that next August one of my friends is getting married and I'm going to be doing her wedding makeup. So I'm really excited about that, and so today I thought I'd share with you guys some of my tips for do-it-yourself wedding makeup. Now I'm going to start off with the products we'll be using for the base of this look, and that is of course our primers, and this is especially important if you're doing your own wedding makeup because you want your look to last all day. So for starters, we're going to use our standard face primer. I use Sephora's. I think it works well. It helps to keep your face looking smooth and also helps to keep your makeup stay all day, which is really important. Another product that I also think is crucial to any wedding day makeup is the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer, I guess it is. This stuff is like super glue for eyeshadow, so it will definitely last all day, all night, no issues with this. And this of course is really important for your wedding day makeup, so it's crucial to have a solid foundation to make sure that your wedding day look will last. Now moving on to the basics of this look. So on your wedding day you want to look like yourself but better, and so we want to keep this simple, and I'm going to do a more subdued look, and it's really free for creativity. If you're having an evening ceremony, you can darken it up. If you're having something in the summer, you can use lighter colors. If you have, a featured color to your wedding, you can incorporate that. And I'm just going to be using the standard kind of formula for eyeshadow, which will be lighter on the lid, slightly darker in the crease, darkest at the corners, and highlight under the brow and on the inner corner. And this again allows for a lot of creativity. If you want to use black or if you want to use brown to kind of give a little more drama or make it a little more natural, there's a lot of room for personalization in this look, but it's just a really good base. It's not very complicated, so it's easy to do on the morning of if you're nervous, you're stressed. So I think it's a really good start for any person who wants to do their own makeup on their wedding day, and it leaves a lot of room for your imagination to run wild and to use anything that you would like to personalize it on your day. Now on to foundation. So of course on your wedding day you want to have gorgeous flawless skin, and to start off we want our foundation. So I use the Pro Longwear Concealer from MAC, and this is what I use every day as my foundation. I couldn't find anything else that was light enough, so I use this. And what I do is when I'm using it on my full face, I cut it with moisturizer. So whatever moisturizer that you regularly use with your face, I find that this reduces a lot of oranginess and also helps to make sure that you don't get a defined line along your jawbone, and it helps kind of help it fade a little bit more into your neck, and so you don't get as obvious of a makeup-y look. Something that's important to consider when you are applying your makeup on the day of, especially your foundation, is obviously definitely use a brush. It helps to reduce streaks and it gives a more even application, but also to remember when you are applying your foundation, apply it to your ears as well. Just kind of give a swirl around and make sure that they're covered up, because a lot of times people don't even think to cover their ears, but especially on your wedding day, if you're getting flustered or stressed and your face would normally turn red, your ears do too, and you don't want to be in photos with red ears and a white face. It would just look a little silly. So it's definitely good to remember that and to make sure that you kind of get an even coverage all over your face. Another thing to note, while normally I am a fan of using a bit of shimmer on your face, on your wedding day you're going to want to avoid anything with an obvious glitter or shimmer to it. In photographs it just ends up looking a little too shiny and you really don't need it. Normally I use my Body Shop Brilliance powder stick. I use this almost every day. It's a stick brush that already has glitter kind of inside of it, and I usually just swipe that right along my cheekbones. So if you are going to use a highlighter, don't use anything that's too obviously shiny or has any glitter in it, because in your photos it'll come off looking a little sweaty and greasy, and you don't want that. Now I've already discussed in some of my previous videos how to properly use bronzer, and this also applies of course on your wedding day, and the use of the bronzer really does depend on when you're having your wedding. Of course if you're having your wedding in the summer, you're going to want to use a little more to give yourself more of a bronzed glow, whereas if you're having your wedding in the winter, it might come off looking a little fake. So be careful with the bronzer. Do not be heavy-handed. You don't want to end up looking cakey, and a little does really go a long way. So because my friend is having a summer wedding, we are going to use a bit of bronzer. So I'm just going to take my big brush, with the bronzer, starting at the temple, and just go up. I tend to like to smile. I like it to come up on the cheekbones. It really gives a nice little glow, a little flush of color. So just put that on there. And again, start with a little and work your way up. It's better to have too little than too much and have to wipe away makeup and it just becomes a bigger issue than it needs to. So just start with a little bit of bronzer. And a blush that I'm really in love with right now, I'm really glad that I splurged on it, is the NARS Orgasm blush. And it's a really nice blush. It's kind of a darker pink and it has little flecks of gold in it, which gives a really nice color, especially for the summer. And what you want to do is just a little bit on the cheek and kind of push it up towards the temple. And this gives a really nice flush and a nice little glow, especially from the gold in there. Another important thing to remember, especially if you have really fair hair, if you're a blonde or a redhead, is to define your eyebrows, especially if you have very fair eyebrows. They tend to disappear in your face, especially if you're having black and white photography. So just take a little eyeliner brush, or if you have any kind of pencil liner, just get a little bit of little slightly darker than what your natural eyebrow color would be, and just line the eyebrow, give it a little bit of definition, just to make sure that it helps to frame your face and make them stand out from the rest of your complexion.